Welcome back, fight fans, to the Sportiello Show. We got UFC Fight Night Vancouver, DeRitter versus Allen, taking place in the middleweight division. We're going to break down the main card, starting at the bottom, working our way up, and we got ourselves a banger to get started. One of my favorite fan-friendly fighters, and Matt Steamroller Frivola, taking on Soy Boy Kyle Nelson. Sorry, all Canadians will be referred to as Soy Boy in this clip.
This is a battle between a technician and a straight-up brawler. Just Frivola's going to go in there. I believe his last 6 fights have all ended in KO. Win or loss, they've all ended in KO. 5 of them in the first round.
He will go out on the shield.
Yeah, absolutely. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Love that about Matt Frivola. And, you know, Kyle Nelson, like I mentioned, he is a technician. Both these guys do not have the sexiest records when it comes to their UFC career. But, you know, that's what you get when you come to the best of the best, the cream of the crop. You're not always going to win, and if you are not that elite top-tier talent, you're going to have some L's on your record.
This is what I'll say about Frivola's losses, though. I mean, Arman Sarukian, who hasn't lost to that dude. Yeah. The Terrence McKinney, T-Rex, I meant to say. Yeah. The Terrence McKinney fight, you know, flash in the pan. If they fought 10 times, that kind of outcome happens once.
Does it?
I don't know. And then, I mean, the way he got finished by Benoit Saint-Denis, again, a flash in the pan.
That was nasty.
Another flash in the pan, you know, running away, kick to the face. That was a rough one to see. And honestly, his most gruesome knockout that he's received is his most recent one over a year ago against Frassiam.
Yeah.
I really wanted to break this down in the French card we had, but the dude ended up losing his grandmother that week. But he does a fantastic job, the Frenchman that is, of framing Frivola. And what I mean by framing is he grabs the opponent's head and literally pushes it towards his knee that's coming up, and his knee just lands cold on the jaw, puts Frivola out back-to-back times, and Frank's not doing so well back there. So they said, hey, tell you what, we're going to keep you on this side of the Atlantic this time around.
Still in enemy territory.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And also kind of short notice. I feel like if you follow Frivola on any of the social medias, he, quote-unquote, has been asking for a fight for a long time, asking to step in on short notice, and this was one that was kind of, not necessarily a short notice, but wasn't one that was planned for many moons.
Yeah. Who are you going with all that being said is the question.
I think Matt Frivola bounces back and gets a knockout win.
Yeah, we were alluding to it the entire time.
I don't think that Frivola has it in him to lose to a Canadian. Not this man. Not this American.
Not this one.
Not this patriot.
Frivola by knockout. I'll say first round. Keep the trend going.
I'll say first round as well. We agree. Yeah. Frivola's got this.
All right, let's move on to our next fight. We got Cody Gibson versus Arichi Lang.
Great job.
Thank you.
You try.
It's so hard. There's a Q in the middle of it for no reason. All right, so I'm not super stoked about this fight, just being completely honest. I would much rather see, what's his name? The prelim main event.
Is Lockdog on here?
No. Charles Jourdain.
Oh, right.
I would much rather have him been in this slot right here. I mean, Jourdain just puts on a show every time he's out there.
I am curious how this snuck its way onto the main card. I will say this. I think the reason this is a god honest answer why I think this is there. Brad Katona beat Cody Gibson in the Ultimate Fighter finale. Mm-hmm. So Canada may know who this guy is.
They're like,
that's what I'm going for. Because Arichi Lang last fought in the Sphere, right?
Yep.
And was served to Rosas Jr., which means that he was supposed to go in there and lose.
Yep.
He put up way too much of a fight for any of our likings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were waiting for Chi Wee Wee to get a submission finish or any kind of finish, and he was unable to do so. And the lot of us were sitting there watching the 17-minute. I say 17 minutes because I count those 2 minutes in between rounds. 17 minutes of we'll call it action. Anywho's, I think this guy's getting served up again. Not a big fan of this being on the main card. Cody Gibson, his second stint in the UFC, right? He's fighting that out of Extreme Couture, which I love. Win over Brian Kelleher last year. I actually rate that. You know, maybe he's towards the end of his career. The two of them, really. Lost to Damon Blackshear by submission. That's going to happen at bantamweight.
Yeah, Blackshear's tough.
This is whack. I'm going to go Cody Gibson by decision.
I'm taking Cody Gibson by submission. I want to say in the third round.
No. You know what? I don't mean to be that guy. But when I was thinking about this, I also thought submission.
Okay.
Because I remember watching it, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's his go-to move. He can do that. And then I checked Mr. China's.
Richie Lang.
Yeah, dude. And he's been sub 3 times. Already.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be a 4th then.
As it should be. I could definitely see Gibson getting a decision victory. I just think Richie Lang is going to gas himself out in the first 2 rounds, and in that 3rd round, he's going to get caught with a guillotine or something.
That sounds about right.
RNC maybe. All right, let's move on to this next fight.
Oh, yeah. So we got Manon Fiorot, maybe, against Jasmine Jesus.
Yep.
So Jazzy. Miss Jasmine repping Canada. And because she's repping Canada, we're going to say that she is heads and the French woman is tails.
There we go.
Ready?
Yep. What do we got? Tails?
Tails, which means
The French win.
there you go.
There you go.
Moving on.
Every time a woman fights, you might as well flip a coin. So that's what we're doing.
Yep.
All right. So Marlon Vera versus Ayman Zahabi. My bad.
Yes, who goes by the nickname Ariel Hawani.
Yeah, he looks just like him. I kind of like this fight. I like Chito in general. I think he has a lot of power. I think he mixes up his fight game very well. He can go for submissions. He can take you down with his wrestling. And he has ridiculous power coming back your way for such a short guy. And then Zahabi, on the other hand, he's more of a technician. He's going to look to keep Chito at range, try to pick at him from the distance strikes. I don't see any world where Zahabi cracks Chito's granite chin. Because if you can take that knee from Suga, you can take a shot from anyone.
That was crazy. That was the craziest strike of the year last year. I think that Chito is extremely boring to watch overall.
Okay.
Unless you, which I did, unless you enjoy watching him get his ass beat by Sugar Sean. I didn't enjoy his Pedro Munoz fight. I didn't enjoy watching him against Corey Sandhagen. He was getting whooped by Dominic Cruz until he wasn't. He was getting whooped by Rob Font kind of until the end there. He landed some real nasty ground and pound in the middle rounds that kind of really shook Rob Font and took over from there. I think that Chito is decent, never good enough to deserve that title shot.
No. There was just a history there with Suga.
I'm curious where he's been over the past year, to be honest. Not sure if he's had fights fall out or not. Ayman Zahabi has been waiting for a ranked opponent. It's cool that they were able to give him one in Canada. I think that they gave him the best option if you want the hometown guy to win. If you want to enter the bantamweight top 10 the most boring way how, this is going to be the fight to do it.
Give me Chito by KO.
Oh, that's fun. I'm going to go Zahabi by decision.
There we go. All right, let's move it on to our fight of the night candidate and one of our favorite fighters in Kevin Holland versus Mike Malott.
Yeah, we're very excited every time Kev comes on the card.
We love the Trailblazer. Mike Malott, though, was the former striking coach at Team Alpha Male, which is Uriah Faber's fighting gym. BJJ black belt, has a lot of finishes in the UFC so far, but against some no-name competition. The one time he went up against someone worth a damn, he got finished in the 3rd round.
Yeah, he was winning that fight too.
He absolutely was.
We're going to pause right here.
So as we were saying, Mike Malott, cool guy, lost to Neil Magny, nobody gives a fuck. Let's move on to Kevin Holland, because Kevin Holland, like we mentioned, is one of our favorite UFC fighters. Win or lose, Kevin Holland always puts on a show. Activity is the name of the game when it comes to him. We love how consistent he fights at least 3 to 5 times a year. That is a lot more than most UFC fighters can claim. It's always a good time when Kevin's in the ring. His interviews are fun. He is just a fun guy to root for. The Batman, quote-unquote, black man, as he calls himself, of the streets. Take it away with Kevin. What else do you got to say?
Well, it's really hard to fit his UFC resume onto his ESPN sheet.
Couldn't do it.
If you try to compare the two between him and Mike Malott, you got quite the different text size between the two because you got plenty of room for Malott. Not the most active dude.
No, and that really bugs me, too.
Yeah, agreed. He had this 100% finish rate, and honestly, for only having had 10 wins at the time of fighting Neil Magny, that's actually not that impressive in today's day and age. He bounced back after that loss. He should still have only the one loss on his resume. Some people are going to say that Mike Malott's just going to shoot a takedown, control Kevin Holland, and finish him on the ground because that's how you beat Kevin Holland. But as I've said before, this soy boy is not going to be able to take out Kevin Holland. If I saw these two cross paths, I wouldn't hesitate to put my money on Kevin Holland, and I'm not going to hesitate now. I got Kev by knockout, and I think it's going to be a beautiful thing.
I can definitely agree with that. I mean, Kevin's got the 8-inch reach advantage. He's got the height advantage. He should be able to keep Malott at range. I say he takes him into deep water, third round, TKO, KO.
That sounds right.
And with that, let's move on to our main event of the evening. This was originally supposed to be Renier de Ridder versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, but Brendan Allen has stepped in to Fluffy's shoes, and so this is our main event. Not as excited as I would have been had it been Fluffy.
Yeah, well, I think that's because of how exciting Fluffy is to watch.
Right. He's a monster, and he makes great fighters look like they don't even belong in the UFC. Brendan Allen
is one of them.
Good. Yeah, he's good in his own right, but you're right. He was one of them. 13-4 in the UFC for Allen. RDR is 4-0. Fraud checked Bo Nickel. Lost to Robert Whitaker. I don't care what that W says.
That was a weird fight to score, is what I'll say. I rewatched it, and in my opinion, round 1 can go either way. Mm-hmm. The deciding round was round 4. That was the only one that the judges disagreed on. And I have no idea who won that round. I think that both of their pace really slowed down. In the later half, all 3 judges had RDR winning round 5. And I think that this style matchup for RDR is actually a real problem.
You think
so? Because Brendan Allen is easily one of the best submission artists in the UFC. One of the best grapplers in the division. He gave Imavov a hard time on the ground, and he had a real tough time recovering from his weight cut that weekend on the road. And then, Brendan Allen loses to Fluffy Hernandez, like we mentioned, bounces back against Marvin Vettori. This is the thing that I'll say, though. Marvin Vettori, shit fighter, boring style. But when you go against a grappler like Brendan Allen, you nullify both those grappling abilities of both fighters. You leave it to the striking. Brendan Allen technically outstruck him. The numbers are a lot closer than I remember it being. And I can see RDR coming out here and doing the same thing he always does. He spams leg kicks and quick combos, not like a lot of power, quick combos, and then he shoots for a single leg. And he also does like a lunging knee to the body.
Yeah, he does. And he's actually pretty damn good at it.
Yeah, and I think that is how he can win this fight on the feet, is using that specific move. Otherwise, I don't really see him having his way with Brendan Allen on the ground, even a little bit. So then it's just a 5-round stand-up scrap, and
which we love.
I still think that Brendan Allen is going to at least have a round where he's in control on the ground and throwing up submissions. Probably doesn't get the sub, but I think that he'd probably end up getting closer to subbing RDR than RDR gets to subbing Brendan Allen. All this being said, I thought that I was going to come in here and be like, yeah, RDR, easy, but the more I've broken it down for myself, I've got Brendan Allen by decision in a very weird main event.
I like it. I'm taking RDR by decision. I think it'll be a split decision, close fight. I agree with you 100%. Brendan Allen is more likely to get the submission than vice versa. I just can't see him being able to stop the momentum of RDR in this fight. Brendan Allen is, 1-2 in his last 3. RDR hasn't lost since, what is it? Oh, not even that long ago, 2024.
Well, this is the thing with RDR is he's been so damn active. This is going to be his 5th fight in a calendar year. And really, I mean, it's not far off from being 7 fights in a calendar year. So at 35 years old, does fight number 5.
Is this the one that knocks him out?
Not by. Well, we're not.
Yeah, just, it knocks him off the winning train is what I meant to say.
I think that it just might. I think Fluffy would have won this fight.
Yes, I would have picked Fluffy in this fight, 100%. But unfortunately, I forget what happened to him. Was it an injury?
I don't think we were told.
Okay, well.
He did have a quick turnaround, so he probably did just agree to the fight before he was actually ready, and then got right back into it and wasn't healed and hurt something that was, kind of on the fringe of not 100%.
Just beat up, what was his name? Roman, delete
bad.
that.
So
Too
bad.
So bad, he hurt his hands. That's what it was. But yeah, so we disagree on the main event. That means it'll be a banger, hopefully. Split decision my way, UD your way.
I don't think UD is possible. So split decision sounds about right. And honestly, Brendan Allen is not like the highest IQ fighter either. So I don't give a fuck. I'm rolling the dice. Yeah, I got Brendan Allen by decision.
I love it. All right. Well, let's wrap it up there. This was the Sportiello Show with the Sportiello Bros. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.
Deuces.